Ronnie Clemell, Acquire Wealth Partners. How are you?
I'm great. How are you, Jim?
Yeah, good on you, Ronnie. Ronnie, this buy now, pay later market, is this a fad or is this the future, this buy now, pay later concept? What do you think?
Maybe the future. And I say that because you look at the young people who want things now and they don't want to save for it and they don't want to pay for it. Or so they don't want to put it on lay-by and wait 3 months to get it. They want it now and they'll pay later. Because
it's a good point. Like lay-by has been around since your mother and my mother and maybe our grandparents, used to purchase things, but we never got it. We sort of just put it aside.
Yeah, delayed gratification used to be a thing, but it's not a thing anymore. So I think, the Afterpay and Zips and these sorts of companies have just taken advantage of the pay it off system and made it really appealing to people to have something now because there's no interest, there's no charge to it, but what's the real cost in the sense of their privacy and their data? So,
because there are some big late fees on these things that really in the fine print, if you miss that, whatever the payback period, and whilst they're all very big on saying how big the late fees are, that it's quite massive, and I think even higher than credit card fees.
Yeah, look, I don't know for certain what they are, but I know that you've got 6 weeks or a certain amount of time to pay them. It's quite a short amount of time as opposed to, these 0% interest credit cards that have sometimes got years to pay off.
Yeah.
So if somebody's not really aware of their cash flow, they can get in trouble quite quickly because it's still a meaningful amount of money to pay back in a short amount of time.
But even that statement, aren't most people not really totally on top of their cash flow, particularly if I've got instant gratification, I forget about all the different buy now, pay later contracts I might have out there.
Absolutely. I mean, it's just another thing that gets bundled into the budget that people don't actually plan for, because if you planned for it, you wouldn't be putting it on buy now, pay later.
So is it just another credit card? Is that all it is?
Practically. It's just a short-term credit card.
Okay. And you raise an important point, because the purchase of Twitter by the fellow that runs Twitter, Jack Dorsey, and owns Square, of buy now, pay of the Afterpay, the huge purchase, which is the largest of its type in Australian corporate history, I think. He's extolling the benefits as a new opening for him to get to the younger market that uses things like Afterpay, and more so to understand where they're buying, what they're buying, and what they're distributing their money around, to be more predictive with where they want to spend their money. So it's not just a buy now, pay later credit card. It's also trying to understand the behaviors of his consumers.
Look, stores have always tried to understand the behavior of their consumers, from, your Myer card, your Woolies card, all those sorts of things, so they can target better ads to you through their apps and whatnot. And I can just see the scale of what we're talking about with Twitter, this purchase. Are they going to use your data for evil or for good? And you've got to think that at a big corporation level, profit's going to come first.
Yeah, and it's sort of like the whole, probably in some ways goes into the privacy concerns we've got with those QR codes with COVID at the moment. So more and more of these big groups want to understand and try and anticipate what it is we do. Ronnie, are your clients asking about this? Are they talking about this? Has it come up to the surface yet in your clientele?
No, it doesn't. And I think that's because the clients we work with are on top of their finances and working on their finances. And I don't think it's something that they find appealing, because they understand the consequences of what the buy now, pay later eventuate into. And in the past, where we've had clients come to us with these high credit card debts where they've rolled credit cards together for interest-free periods, again, it's just a matter of unwinding those quite quickly through some better cash flow and saving strategies. But funnily enough, I don't see a lot of people coming to me with these problems or asking me about them at the moment.
Okay.
Maybe another year or so's time, we might just see a little bit more of that.
Okay. And so for anyone listening then who may be interested in it or aware of it or concerned about it, what would be your advice to anyone listening to this about this whole emergence and growth of the buy now, pay later?
You have to be really wary, because I was talking to a mortgage broker the other day, and first home buyers couldn't get a loan because they put a pizza on Afterpay. I mean, yeah, you can, so why not? But when you don't understand what impact it has on your credit file, then that's a big problem. And, little things like that can unravel things. So I think people need to be wary of it, and they need to think about it. And, if they can't afford it, don't buy it. It's just enticing you to have bad habits around your cash flow.
It sounds like a world that's fast emerging for everybody.
I think in today's world, when it comes to money, you have to be really diligent as to who you're giving your information and who you're giving your money to and how they're going to be using it. And just look beneath the surface. Is it really just for me, or is there something else happening here? And then really, do you participate in that?
Thanks. Look, Ronnie, totally get it. Thanks for that. Great insights.
Thanks, Jim.